Hey, everybody, one day closer to the finish. I want to make sure I invite everybody back tomorrow for tomorrow's video. That'll be our very last Life Lit lesson of the year. And I want everybody to see that if possible. So that may take a few minutes. So I want to take a few minutes today to kind of close out things and just tell everybody how much I've really missed you guys. I had said all along this year that you were a great class. Just so many of you have just very high characters, very good sense of humor, hard workers, all the things that you could ever have actually hope for in a class. And so I really regret that this was the year that we had this thing. A couple of years ago, I would have been like, but this year, very, very sad because I miss all you guys. So, and I do hope to see you again. You know, come back and see me whenever you get a chance, as long as you're not, COVID positive. Just come back and chit chat. Let me know how it's going. You guys know I do have a youth group, and everybody is invited to that anytime, whenever you want. Doesn't matter who you are. It doesn't matter any of those things. Just come on in and just join the family. You can find out more about that at findthegap.org. And right now we're meeting over Zoom, but you're used to that, so that should be fun. Hopefully later this summer, we're going to start doing some different things, but everybody's invited to that, and I would really love to see you guys there because I really miss you guys. So I just want you to know that. So for my last kind of dialogue, I was watching this movie the other day. It was called The Wizard of Oz. I don't know if you've ever seen this movie. If you have not seen it, that's one of your summer projects, is to watch this movie. It was made in 1930 something. But it doesn't look like it's 1930 something. There's like colors in it, and there's like effects and whatnot. There's some music in it. I'm not a musical guy. Every now and again, they'll just break out into song for no reason, and I'm not a fan of that. But it works in this movie. It works. So I would highly recommend that you watch it. There are some things you may have even seen it because it's a classic movie. I used to watch it on TV it would come on like once a year, and I remember it was like an appointment. You had to be sitting in front of that TV whenever it came on. And then I know you guys aren't into that stuff. You watch, I don't know, whatever it is you watch, but I'm sure it's not 1934 fantasies. But you should take a look at it. It's really interesting. It's a story of this girl, Dorothy. She hates her family. She doesn't hate them, but she's disappointed in them. And she runs away, and she ends up going to this crazy land called Oz, and she's being chased by a witch who wants her ruby slippers. And it's she meets some friends along the way: Scarecrow, a Tin Man, and a lion. And it's a very fascinating story, and it's a very great movie. There are some things that I've always wondered about it, though. If you've ever seen it, the Scarecrow, he says he doesn't have a brain. The lion doesn't have any courage, and the Tin Man doesn't have a heart, or as he calls it, a heart. I don't have a heart. I can't do anything. I don't have a heart, Dorothy. And it's very odd the way these manifest itself. Like, the Scarecrow doesn't have a brain, so he's stupid. Okay, I can understand that. The lion doesn't have any courage, so he's afraid of things. Like, he's afraid of Toto, the little dog. The Tin Man doesn't have a heart, but it doesn't seem to affect him in any way. You would think if you didn't have a heart, you'd either be like comatose or you would hate everybody because you have no feelings. But he was just a regular guy. There didn't seem to be I don't even know why he needed the heart. He was just concerned that his chest was hollow, so it's weird. Why did he have that? And what the heck is a Tin Man anyway? Like, I know what a lion is. I know what a scarecrow is. I've seen those things. Who's ever seen a Tin Man? Who takes the time to take all their excess tin and turn it into a man? It's kind of weird. And then he had an axe randomly. I guess he was chopping wood or something. There's an interesting part in the movie where they go to the land of Oz. They have to go see the Wizard of Oz because they have to get back to Dorothy has to get back to Kansas. And when they go into Oz, the people are like, you can't go see the wizard looking the way you do. You got to clean up. And so they start cleaning them up, and they each are in like a little booth. And Dorothy comes out. She's just gorgeous. She's got these curls. She's all clean. The Tin Man is all shiny, his aluminum is glistening, the lion has curls and bows. The Scarecrow's just the Scarecrow. And to me, he seems like he would be the easiest one to clean up. You stuff some straw back in there, you give him a better shirt, but he's identical. He is identical afterwards to the way he is at first. And so I hope whoever tried to clean him up did not get a tip, or at least not a very good tip. You should always tip, but I hope it's at the low end, like 10%. Dorothy wears these ruby slippers. That's really the conflict. There's this witch, this green witch, who is trying to chase her to get the ruby slippers, I guess because they're so very valuable. And yet I'm still thinking that if you watch this today, you'd probably be like, yeah, ruby slippers are probably less expensive than the new Nikes that are coming out, which a lot of you guys have. So it's not, I don't know if you would find that fascinating. But as a kid, we were like, wow, slippers made of rubies. Those must be $300-400. And today you're like, that's my allowance. I know you're not like that. Just kidding. Well, some of you. One of the weird things about the witch, they kill the witch. It's a gruesome, morbid scene. They actually totally annihilate this witch, destroy her, dead as a doornail, in a most gruesome fashion. They throw water on her, and apparently water is something that kills her. It's like acid to her. So she just starts to smoke and her body gradually disintegrates. It's quite a scene. And you think about the witch and she's all weird, green, pointed nose, like most classic witches. But you think, gosh, this woman has never bathed, I guess, in her life. She's never taken a shower. She's never gone for a swim in the pool. That might be the weirdest, most disgusting things about her. It's strange. And have you ever wondered, like, why do witches wear that hat? What is it about that particular hat that witches have to wear? Different people have taken away things from us. Like, you can't wear that deerstalker hat without somebody saying, like, oh, here comes Sherlock Holmes. You can't have that hat without somebody saying, oh, there's a witch. You could have that same witch's hat without the brim and have a tall pointed cone and they could say you're a wizard or a warlock, but you got the brim on, you're a witch. So thanks a lot, Wicked Witch of the West. It's very interesting backstory to the movie. There were a lot of things behind the scenes that people didn't know. The witch, for example, in her first scene, when she comes up, and this is true, when she comes up, or when she disappears from the Yellow Brick Road, there's this fire that shoots up. And the special effect when they were making the movie, she was actually going down on this elevator. And as she was going down on this elevator, these flames were supposed to shoot up, but I guess the elevator got stuck. And so the flames shot up all around her. And so she almost died making the movie. And it's interesting historical note that even like 100 years after the Salem witch trials, they were still trying to burn witches, which is weird. And then another interesting thing, the guy who played the Tin Man, the guy who's like, I don't have a hot. That guy was actually the second choice because the first choice was this actor named Buddy Ebsen. This is true. Buddy Ebsen. He was like a comedic actor. And he put on this makeup which had silver silicate in it or some kind of silver in it, and he was allergic to it, and he almost died. So everybody almost died making this movie. And he was so close to death that they actually took him out of the part and they put this other guy into the part, which I don't know why he didn't die, but like maybe they used different makeup or whatever. But Buddy Ebsen, eventually he recovered. And a lot of people don't know this, but when Buddy Ebsen fell ill and he recovered, he kind of retired. He moved to some, hillbilly place in Appalachia. No one's exactly sure of where it is. And he had nothing. And then one day he was out shooting, hunting at some food, and up from the ground comes this bubbling crude oil. You'd probably call it black gold, Texas tea. Well, the next thing you know, he's a millionaire, and all of his family is like, you got to get out of here. And so they loaded up the truck and they moved to Beverly Hills, which is where he had come from. Movie stars, swimming pools. So almost dying in that movie may have been the best thing that ever happened to Buddy Ebsen. Who knows? Setbacks can be set-ups for something even more extraordinary in the future. Don't ever forget that lesson. All right, well, that's all I got for today. I do recommend you watch the movie. By the way, a lot of spoilers in this video. So, if you haven't seen it, don't listen to anything that I've said until after you've seen it. So I will see you tomorrow. Tell your friends, tell your neighbors, tell your pets. Be back here tomorrow. You don't want to miss the very last lifelet of your life, probably. So I'll see you then. I miss you guys, love you guys, and I hope to see you soon tomorrow.